scary for me. I got hit hard financially because like I was in the hospital for 4 days and not working right now.
You actually got the virus?
I got the virus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were furloughed from your job, you then got the virus, and now you're stuck with medical bills?
15 grand is what I've heard so far.
Interesting.
Obviously, like not working and living in San Francisco, like I'm like, where am I gonna find that?
Yeah. Hold up. One second,
One
sir. I gotta talk to my news anchor.
We gotta take care of
Yes.
it.
Okay. Hey. So we here at MBSNDCGDBY News would like to give you $15,000 to cover your hospital bills. Also, I'm not a real news anchor. This is the most expensive firework in the entire world, and it cost me over $160,000. And I also bought a $5,000 firework, a $10,000 one, and this big behemoth right here is a $40,000 firework. And everything here, we spent over $600,000 on this video, and every single firework will be launched.
Like many of you, I assume that you've been exposed to Mr. Beast from YouTube actually pushing him, whether that be on your recommended tab or on the trending tab or recommended under videos you're watching. Essentially what this guy does is make crazy YouTube videos, a lot of the time revolving around spending a ton of money. Sometimes it even amounts to about $1 million that he actually uses on certain things in a video. So after first being exposed to his content, I've been really trying to think about why I have a problem with it, because it never sat well with me. And he does a lot of good work as well, and I know a lot of people in the comments are probably going to be saying, Mr. Beast has done X, Y, and Z, what have you ever done? Which is a fair point. He's given a lot of money to various good causes, he's given money personally in these videos to people who need it. But I guess in this video what I want to talk about is how he uses these situations to grow his channel, and then it is in very poor taste a lot of the time where he will give a certain amount of money to someone who is in desperate need of it before then going to spend about $500,000 on something ridiculous like the world's biggest firework. And although it's not totally known where all his money comes from, people think, and he says it's mostly from brand deals, I'm just going to talk how it's in pretty poor taste during what is going on in the world currently at the moment to be throwing around so much money on ridiculous stuff, which is often very wasteful stuff that can never be used again or can never be sold again, and then talk about why his content is sort of exploitative, just like traditional game shows back in the day. So this video is going to be sort of split into two. The first part is going to be talking about this game show he did a couple months ago. The second part is going to be talking about his donations to people who needed it during the current situation in the world at the moment, and then how he wastes loads more money on doing really stupid stuff. But Mr. Beast set up a game show where various people would compete to win $1 million. He actually clickbaited a lot of this because he did this in the numerous rounds, so he had parts 1 to 4 and said, you know, the last two, whatever, wins $1 million when they don't actually win $1 million. So you have last to fall wins $1 million, part 1. Last to stop swinging wins $1 million, part 2. Last to leave the toilet wins $1 million, part 3. Last to stop riding bike wins $1 million, part 4. Like I said, no one in these videos wins $1 million. They win this round and get put through to the final round. So this final round is last to take hand off $1 million keeps it. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The finalists all put their hands on a box of $1 million, and the last one to leave basically wins that.
Dead serious. Last one of you to take your hand off this $1 million stack of cash keeps it. I don't care if it takes an hour, day, week, month, year. I don't care if it takes a decade. The last one of your hands to come off this $1 million keeps it. Yeah! Mark is the winner of the $1 million challenge.
No way!
Yes.
No way! No way! No way! No way!
$1 million, Mark. $1 million, you can buy a house, a Lamborghini, another house, depending where you live, another house.
This is unbelievable. Wow, man.
It's now your family's money.
Yeah, all of this.
Oh my God!
$1 million.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
You lying?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
So your boy's a millionaire, so I promise you that ring, and it is coming towards you when I come back.
So the contestant, Mark, wins $1 million. You can see there, very happy, calling his wife. This guy has just won a life-changing amount of money, why shouldn't you be happy for him? He won it through a kind of stupid game show, but again, some random guy winning $1 million, wouldn't you like to do that as well? And I hope it was made clear, because the follow-up video is spending $1 million in 24 hours, where this Mark guy has to spend all his money within one day. Now, again, I hope this was made clear when they signed up to do this game show, because if it wasn't, that is a pretty awful thing to do. Just springing on this guy, yeah, you've got to do this to make some really stupid video of me, and all the suffering you went through for these ridiculous yet hard challenges, you don't really get to choose how to spend your money in a proper way, because I know, like a lot of you, if I won $1 million right now, £1 million, whatever, I would not be spending it in a day, I would not be spending it in a month, I would not be spending it in a year. I'd probably buy something like a new house, and then I'd keep it, or invest it. Now in the video you'll see, he just wastes it on lots of ridiculous stuff.
All right, so you now have 24 hours to spend the $1 million. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Here you go.
Thank you.
Two.
Give me 2. I want a Nintendo Switch.
All right.
2 of.
Whoa, 2?
You sure you don't want the cheaper one? Nah, I'm just messing. You got $1 million.
That's the Series 5.
Okay.
Oh, no.
2 Note 10 Pluses.
Of course, the new iPads as well.
Wow.
Thank you.
I don't know how much that was, but it's right there on the counter.
All I need from you is a signature right here. The vehicles are yours.
You better not read it. You're a millionaire. You ain't got time to read.
What if Mark was like, yeah, how much is this coat rack? Just for clarity, how much is this house? It's $165, right?
Yep.
Okay, which is perfectly in the budget.
So like you see, cars, video game consoles for his friends, all this stuff. Now it also goes on to show Mark's situation, which I think is inherently quite exploitative, playing the sad music where it shows Mark's life, which again shows a lot, but I think it also indicates something that is inherent in most game shows, is that people go on them to win, and people are desperate to win, just like Mark has the drive to do those challenges. He was way more determined than most people in these challenges because his situation is so bad.
Now we're gonna take you to Mark's house and just show you where he lives. So this is where you currently live? Yeah.
This is my room, you know, this is where me, my wife sleep. You see, it ain't no room at all. Like,
You can't even open the door all the way.
right.
This is my little cousin's room.
Your little cousin sleeps on an air mattress?
Yeah, and he popped it, so it's flat.
Your cousin is sleeping on an air mattress that's like has a hole in it, so he's sleeping on the floor. Can I just say, I'm super glad you won the $1 million. I really am. The more you show us around, the more I'm like, thank God you won the $1 million.
So it's a kind of an insult in my mind when Mr. Beast says the more he shows them around his house, the happier he is he won $1 million, sort of saying, look at the dump you live in, look at the way you live, I'm so happy you don't have to live here anymore. In my mind that's pretty tasteless, because lots of people around the world live in worse conditions than Mark here. Just having money doesn't mean you'll be significantly happier. Of course it's nice to be more comfortable. And it also points to a wider problem with Mr. Beast's content, in that he often gives money to poor people, he gives money to food banks and all this good stuff. He's beating around the bush by just giving money to these good causes, but at the end of the day, he's not doing anything significant to tackle the real problems of the world economy, of the US economy, why it's so bad, why unregulated capitalism and just capitalism in general is so exploitative. He's just doing these token things, and in my mind, it's to make himself look better and it's to grow his brand. Look at the title of his video, spending $1 million in 24 hours. That's not, I am helping Mark, who it comes from a poor background, get a better life. Please, Mark, do this gimmick with me, with the money you've won, and I can make more money off it, I can get more subscribers, I can get more YouTube fame, and I can get in the algorithm. This video has 43 million views. Again, if he wasn't clickbait and everything, do you think they'd get as many views for this series? So to his credit, Mr. Beast also sets up Mark with financial advisors, just so he doesn't mismanage his new assets. And I'm sure a lot of people will say in the comments, Mark would not agree with you. Mark is happy Mr. Beast did this and gave him a lot of money. Mark is happy for his new life. He probably will have to work again since he spent most of his money. His house is only worth $100,000. So maybe I'd appreciate it if Mr. Beast said, here's $1 million and some financial advisors so you can probably never have to work again, because this is a significant amount of money. But again, over the course of the video and the series, Mr. Beast has helped Mark out as a person. In terms of this video specifically, I find it pretty exploitative, showing a situation, Mr. Beast's comments, and using this guy for more views, for more subscribers, and for more clout for Mr. Beast himself. So let's move on to a more stark problem I have with him. So he's made recent videos about the world situation at the moment, and he recently rang up a bunch of people and gave him a couple $1,000s. So what people do is they tell Mr. Beast their story, how, you know, everything has affected them, their jobs, their livelihoods, their medical bills, and then he gives them a bit of money. Notice how I say a bit, because he doesn't actually give them that much when you think about it, especially because Americans don't have universal healthcare. The way the government has dealt with everything has been awful. One $1,200 stimulus check is not enough. In the UK, for example, if you get put on the furlough scheme, you get 80% of your wages, and that goes on through till the end of September. Again, pointing to a general problem I have with him is that he never does anything to tackle the real causes of these problems. It's just, you know, here is $5,000 random stranger, while I spend $500,000 on the world's biggest firework.
Never thought that the whole world would just stop. I mean, I live in New York City, so, you know, at the beginning I kind of was essential at my job, and at the end I wasn't.
You've been laid off recently?
Yeah. My last day of work was the 20th.
It hurts to hear all this. So here at WSMB, we want to give you $10,000 to try to make your life a little bit easier.
That's crazy. That's just insane.
Oh, you're about to make me cry. Okay.
Trying to make a decision whether to take a job, you might get sick.
Hopefully the $10,000 makes it where you don't have to pick, you know, a job that can potentially get you sick. How's the recent pandemic affected you?
I am out of work. As soon as they heard about it, we were shut down. So I rely on mostly family.
How does that make Blast University feel? All right, so we here at Blast University want to help you out. How does $5,000 sound? Do you think that would help alleviate some stress from your life? $5,000.
Yeah. A lot. I can pay a lot of bills.
We're glad we could help you.
I'm glad you could help me. I'm glad.
We just wanted to see how the recent events have affected people. How have you been finding yourself with all these things going on?
My second job is closed. My full-time job hours are like reduced bad. So I had to go online with school.
So wait, you were working 2 jobs and going to school at the same time?
Yes.
We here at Blast University would like to give you $5,000 to help make things a little bit easier on you.
Are you serious?
We are very serious.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't know what to say except for thank you.
You're
No
very
problem,
welcome.
You will make things a lot easier on me, and I really do appreciate it. Like, I'm kind of speechless.
Do you have time for a quick survey?
Yeah, I guess so.
Have financially and everything, things been good, or has the pandemic affected you negatively?
The pandemic has definitely affected us negatively. I got laid off from my job. Supposedly,
You got laid off?
my whole team just kind of got in.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
9.
Do you think $9,000 will help make your life better?
Yeah, I think $9,000 would be amazing.
Well then, right after this call, I'm gonna wire you $9,000 to try to make things a little less stressful for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Now, not all of those people are the same, but again, it seems to me pretty disturbing using people who are falling on insanely hard times for your clickbait video, which you've titled, I give $200,000 to people who lost their jobs. 17 million views. He didn't give anyone $200,000. He spread $200,000 among multiple people. Anything for clickbait from Mr. Beast. And like I said, a guy like Mr. Beast who's chucking around money like anybody's business, again, I don't know exactly where it all comes from, but if it comes from brand deals, he's not doing anything to really help these people's problems directly. Again, these people fall on hard times. Have you seen the cost of medical bills in America? You giving them 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand, it's not going to help them forever. It's just, you know, a band-aid. And again, in this instance specifically, this is just trying to make himself look better. This is just trying to get himself clout. And unlike Mark's case, he's not significantly changing these guys' lives, and especially with the uncertainty around everything. Now, that was 2 months ago. Most recently, he uploaded a new video called, I bought the world's largest firework, $600,000. Maybe you should have used that $600,000 to give to people who have fallen on hard times. Maybe you should have used that money to give more people you say you care about, you know, the chance for a new life, instead of wasting it on probably the most ridiculous thing in terms of you shoot a firework, it explodes, and then it's gone after about 30 seconds.
We are about to launch the largest firework anyone in mankind's history has ever seen. Literally a world record. $160,000. Give me a 1!
Oh, yo, you can hear that.
I felt it in my chest.
You spent $600,000 on that while giving some of these people who really need it a measly $5,000. Again, I'm not saying it's not good he has done those things, but when you compare what he's doing, he's a guy who can throw around all this money. you're barely doing anything in the grand scheme of things to help people with that stuff, while you're spending so much money on ridiculous stunts, paid for by brands or not. And let's get to the point, if this stuff is paid for brands, that's even more sickening, that they're just throwing around money for ridiculous stuff like this, just as he's throwing around money. Because there are significant problems in the world right now, and there are very, very, I guess, direct problems. It's not just, you know, general problems with capitalism, consumer capitalism, healthcare. It's literally like people are being laid off, people are being evicted at unprecedented levels, especially in America. When you're a guy who is either pretending or clearly cares about people by giving them so much money, I don't think now's the time to start spending it on totally ridiculous stuff just for clickbait videos. And it's not surprising, which he probably knows, this video did significantly better than the video of him handing out money to people in need. This one got 38 million views, which gets him a bunch of money, which also gets him a bunch of subs. And like I said, if, you know, there is a brand funding this, he has taken them to the bank and he's made that all for himself. So I hope you see through the course of this video why his videos in general are problematic. And yes, I understand the people in the comments who will say, Mr. Beast has helped loads of people, he's given them loads of money, that's helped them out. What have you done? And of course I can say I have not done what Mr. Beast has done, but I also am not in the position to help anyone with that kind of money. When you can spend 600 grand on fireworks for a video, I don't think it's necessarily right you give so little to people who generally need it. I also don't appreciate you exploiting their sob stories, what they talk about in traditional entertainment TV. But of course we all know it's just people suffering during this time. I don't appreciate you using that for clickbait. I don't appreciate the way you depicted Mark's home life and those comments about his home life saying you're so happy he won the money. And I just think it's generally pretty tasteless to throw around so much money like this on completely frivolous stuff. You can make entertaining YouTube content, you can make really weird videos or crazy videos, you don't have to waste so much in this context. I can say that I don't think Mr. Beast is genuinely a good guy anyway. I think he's all doing this to create this image of himself. I think he does the charity stuff mixed in with the rest, so people like me don't come out and say, why are you wasting so much money on the most ridiculous, you know, stuff imaginable? Why don't you put this to good use? So what he does is he does put the money to good use in certain instances, in certain videos, but if you take a look at his entire channel, it's not like he's doing overall good things with his money, he's wasting his money overall. And it's clear because the videos where he wastes the money on stupid stunts do way better, which of course make him more famous, which of course get him more subs, get him more views, get him more money for him personally. And in the grand scheme of things, Mr. Beast is hardly the worst person. He's not an exploitative boss or anything. It doesn't look like he just employs a bunch of his friends. Of course, the people who are really destroying the planet are, you know, the 1%. It's the people who own corporations, it's the governments, it's the elite. Mr. Beast isn't necessarily part of that. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please like the video, maybe subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on social media, follow me at the Kavernacle, mainly on Twitter, also Instagram as well. Please also check out my Reddit. So my subreddit is r/theKavernacle and my personal Reddit is u/TommyCahill1995. If you want to check out my Patreon, that is in the description, and thanks to all my patrons as usual. Check out my WordPress and my Medium as well, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching.